In the previous video, I suggested using secret claws as an alternative to the Mosaic runeword. Today, we'll dive deeper into this idea. I'll also share more reasons why this replacement actually makes a lot of sense. Plus, I'll remind you what's wrong with the discharge skills concept. This is going to be a really interesting video, so don't go anywhere and make sure to watch till the end. But before we begin, feel free to join our Discord community, where you'll find a character save file built with these secret claws. After watching this video, you'll have a much better idea of how to use them effectively. Alright, let's get started. And we'll begin with the core issue. Anyone who truly understands assassin builds, especially the martial arts skill tree, knows there's a fundamental flaw in how charge release skills are prioritized. Before the developers added the Mosaic runeword, barely anyone cared about martial arts skills, or assassin skills in general. And the reason is simple. Martial arts were just too complex to grasp. Only a handful of players realized how powerful these skills actually were. But because they were difficult to control, most people just didn't want to bother. High-end martial arts builds, especially those based on Dragon Tail, were extremely rare. Very few players knew how to build them properly. Paladin, Sorceress, Barbarian, Necromancer, Amazon, those were the dominant builds. No one really cared about the assassin. She was mostly ignored, and barely anyone played her. But then, everything changed. One day, the devs introduced a new rune word, Mosaic. The smarter content creators quickly realized it was insanely powerful and began showcasing its potential like crazy. But in the rush for hype, they overlooked the most important thing. They didn't take the time to truly understand how martial arts skills work. The game updates clearly called for a deeper look at this skill tree, but hype had blinded the community. All people saw was Mosaic, nothing else. Fans of Paladins, Sorcs, Amazons, Necros, they branded martial arts with a single label, Mosaic. That moment marked the start of widespread madness, driven by hype and a basic lack of understanding. Even top Diablo YouTubers got caught up in it. To this day, many of them are still stuck playing Dragon Talon builds. Most players never learned anything beyond the trendy Mosaic assassin. That became the whole identity of the class. And that's exactly why most people now only associate the assassin with one thing: Mosaic. But let's not be like most people. Let's call things what they really are. Black is black, white is white. So from here on out, we're going to take a serious look at the most powerful skill tree in the game: martial arts. Now, after Mosaic was introduced, something unexpected happened. The low-level charge release skill Dragon Talon suddenly became just as strong as Dragon Claw, which is supposed to be the strongest physical damage skill in the entire game. Almost no one noticed this shift, because very few people actually understood assassin skills on a deep, professional level. The Mosaic build had completely blinded the meta, so in reality we ended up with a basic level skill that performs on par with a high tier one. As a result, Dragon Claw became nearly obsolete. Hardly anyone uses it anymore. That's why I want to offer you a real alternative. A worthy replacement for the overpowered and far too accessible Mosaic runeword. So what am I suggesting? Most martial arts skills rely on charge mechanics. You need to build them up before releasing them. So any replacement for Mosaic should not break that core design. In other words, we have to accept the charge-up mechanic as a fundamental part of the assassin's identity. Another major problem with Mosaic is how easy it is to get. Let's be honest, almost everyone has one, and that's not okay. It means the strongest weapon in the game is basically available to anyone. That cheapens the experience. So, a proper alternative has to be rare. It shouldn't be a rune word at all. It should be a unique or rare item, something with an incredibly low drop chance. Ideally, we're talking about the same rarity tier as Tyrael's Might. That would make it truly valuable and balanced. With that in mind, I'm proposing a new kind of claw weapon. These claws should have base stats tailored for high physical damage, but they should still allow you to maintain and use charge-up skills. That way we don't have to redesign the entire martial arts system. This weapon would bridge two worlds: elemental damage from charge-up skills and top-tier physical damage from Dragon Claw. In the end, this weapon would be extremely rare, extremely valuable, and most importantly, it wouldn't break the core mechanics of martial arts. Instead, it would bring balance. It would give Dragonclaw the edge it deserves over Dragon Talon. And that's the way it should be. Let's now take a closer look at how these claws should actually work. First off, there's an important difference in base types when it comes to these claws. Technically, Dragonclaw is a double strike move. It follows an action frame sequence, just like other double hit mechanics used by other classes in the game. In simple terms, this is the same timing system under the hood, just presented differently depending on the character. For the assassin, that timing belongs to Dragonclaw. That's why your main hand needs to be equipped with a fast claw. And in my opinion, the best choice here is a Sueya. It offers the highest physical damage among the faster claw bases. For the offhand, you want something a bit slower, like a War Fist. And that's totally fine, because the second strike in the action frame sequence naturally takes longer. With that setup, we're perfectly in sync with the skill's internal timing. But here's the kicker. Why choose a slower base for the offhand? Simple. Slower claws come with a higher default damage roll. And for Dragonclaw, that's a big deal. So, by placing a slow claw in the offhand, we match the timing window and maximize raw damage. It's the perfect combination of claw bases. Now, what does this mean when we compare it to Mosaic? Well, it makes one thing clear. Because these claws require different base types for optimal performance, they become even more valuable. This design choice makes the weapon conceptually correct and genuinely desirable. Sure, the item stats might not be perfect yet, but at least I'm offering a concrete, logical, and practical solution that could serve as the foundation for something better. And remember, you can try out this exact claw setup right now. Just join our Discord community and download the Assassin save file. The link is in the video description. Of course, you won't find these claws in online play, but you can try them out in single player. And honestly, that makes for a great way to truly understand the game's mechanics and to explore alternative, creative solutions. By thinking outside the box, we're not limiting ourselves to what the developers have laid out for us. This is where game mechanics meet philosophy. And in that space, we own our thoughts. We own our bold, creative ideas. Don't let circumstances lock you into how things are. Dare to imagine how things could be. Then go and build that version of the game for yourself. That's exactly what we did in this video. We explored something that doesn't exist in the game, but could and maybe should, because it would solve real design problems. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you've got questions, ask them. I'm always open for a real conversation.